I believe we are recording now.
Yep.
All right, Jim and Friends, read the news.
June 3rd,
Yes, and
year of our Lord.
and we have with us Justin Prop and newcomer Pat Crawford, who's going to also be having a radio show of his own coming up here, probably in the time slot right before us, it looks like.
Yep.
Do we have a title for that one yet?
No, I'm still thinking about one.
Pat reads the music.
Pat reads the music.
Yeah.
Coming up. And, of course, with us, Zav will play. We're expecting Gabe Hammer anytime, but we will see. And, of course, with us, Duke the dog.
Duke,
The mascot.
Yep, he is the mascot.
he's under the table.
So,
Wrecking everything.
we also, so anyone or I should say listening next week should know that there will be a show recorded in the future to play in the past.
We came back in time.
yes.
We traveled back in time.
Yes, we went to the future and now we are back. We're
Yes.
back to normal, which is good. It was a little. That's probably what happened to our audio. So also, anyone listening next week, we will we leave with the Gate release and never come back to wrap up the show, but that's okay.
Well,
So,
yeah,
but
we had to make sure we got back.
We, right.
We had to come back
had
in
to
time
enter
for this.
Right, we had to get back in the time portal, and we
Yeah.
didn't want to get stuck in the future, so we had to come back like Michael J. Fox.
Right. Yeah.
Huey Lewis.
And next week, we'll be here in Milwaukee, but you're flying to Ireland next week, and then you're going to be on the show the week after, calling in from Ireland, right?
Correct. So we went to the future, recorded a show for next week, the 10th, and came back for our show today, and I will be coming in via either phone, Skype, internet, some sort of medium, maybe all of them, and that would be June 17th. So from Ireland. So look forward to that as well.
That's going to go horribly wrong.
Oh, I don't see what could possibly go wrong. Technology doesn't go wrong. Technology is what saves humanity, not anyway. So today, Packers news, as I always like to start with the Packers news. Donald Driver back with the Packers on a reduced contract. He took a pay cut to stay with the Packers and also won Dancing with the Stars.
All right.
Won this
Congratulations
little-
to Donald Driver.
Won this
that's-
little disco ball thing trophy. that they give.
Anyone see him move at all, or?
Anyone see his dancing?
Yeah.
I saw one on YouTube. You can check those out on YouTube. He was dressed as a cowboy, doing a cowboy dance,
Oh,
and
man.
it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep. So good. He won. So
He like break his thumbs in his belt loops.
almost, but
Yeah.
not exactly. So anyway, so that's our Packer news for today. What else do we have?
Today is National Donut Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. It sounds like a consumer holiday, but it was created by the Salvation Army, I think, for soldiers coming home after the war. So it was created in, this is an unofficial holiday started in 1938 to commemorate female volunteers who served donuts and coffee to soldiers in World War One.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That had something to do with the Doughboys, right? Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. I think that was World War I, right? Americans were the Doughboys, I believe.
I'll look into that.
I think that was our.
Why was that? Were we just kind of chubby?
We like donuts, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I'm not sure, but I do believe that is correct. I don't know. We'll find out if I.
This is all news to me.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. We'll find out if I'm spouting more lies in the form of news or not. What else we got going on today? I got a. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, this is another one, yeah, from RT. RT USA That's Russian television. But I don't know, pretty good news source. I don't know. Anyway, millionaire doctor kills teenager and receives no punishment. So anyway, so this guy, you know, Dr. James G. Corsanti. So he's driving after leaving the country club, and I don't know, goes into like how much he drank. Like, I would have been hammered. I know that much. Like, if I would have drank, and he's like, oh, I didn't feel the effects of alcohol. I just he had several rum and diet Pepsi cocktails, Benedictine and brandy, and a white cream de menthe, and at a martini golf. And he also ordered a bottle of champagne. And anyway, he's driving home from that and hits an 18-year-old girl like a lawnboarder. So she's in the bike lane. He's got his $90,000 BMW. Hits her. She goes flying 167 feet into the air, dead. He takes off, runs home, cleans his car off, deletes all his messages, like text messages, and then rushes to his lawyer's house. And I don't know. He got a. I mean, it's a. Like, how he got off was the jury basically couldn't determine that his drunk driving, him being drunk anyway, like that, him. That caused her death. I really didn't understand it, but
Yeah, that sounds confusing.
Yeah. It made no sense. But and then, but
So, well, neither way, he killed her whether he was drunk or not.
and he fled the scene.
hit and run.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
it's a
a
hit and
felony offense right there.
Right, yeah. You
Right.
don't have
You
to
know?
be drunk to get caught on a hit and run.
No.
Yeah.
Well, he's a millionaire, so
Yeah,
you know
well,
he probably paid his way
well, it must
out
have.
of that one.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, he was making
Did they
$8
say who the
million
law
a year
firm
as a
was?
doctor.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, who's the law firm on that one? So if if anyone ever,
Yeah,
jeez,
these
I
guys
guess
are
if
good.
yeah,
But
damn.
it'll cost you millions of dollars
Well,
to
yeah.
hire these lawyers anyway.
That's true.
Well, yeah. No, but then like interesting, like too, like there's this the area lawyers weigh in on outcome of trial, and it's just a bunch of lawyers talking about basically like, wow, what a great defense, and they're just let's see, he admitted he was drinking. He admitted that he was texting. Yeah, he was texting it too while he hit her. He admitted that he was speeding, although Dr. Corsanti says, well, I don't think my speed had anything to do with the accident. And he was going 52 miles an hour, and I think it was a 35 mile an hour zone, which not that horrible, I guess, but but yeah, if you're hammered, that's another thing. But then and then he admitted to that he wasn't in the traffic lane. He was in the bike lane when he hit her. But
So he pretty much just admitted everything guilt and got away with it.
yeah, I guess he just gave a great his cross-examination was impeccable.
Apparently.
Yeah, he yeah.
Jeez, that would be on the messed up side. I'm putting it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here we go. Hold on.
Well, here's someone who, I don't know. I think she got kind of fair treatment, actually. A woman who punched, scratched, and slid her buttocks against a $30 million painting by Clifford Still, abstract expressionist at the Denver Museum, was sentenced to 2 years of probation. So luckily she wasn't. Probation doesn't seem that terrible for doing that to a $30,000 painting, but I don't know. I mean,
Taking someone's life, though, that's not a big deal.
right, exactly. And this woman looks a lot like a lot of our friends. She's got a lot of tattoos, and I don't know. She seems like someone I'd probably be friends with. Supposedly, she caused $10,000 worth of damage, which I'm sure is total bogus. But yeah, I guess she pulled down her pants and slid her butt against the painting and then urinated on the museum
Say
floor.
anything? Was she, were there
Yeah,
any
they didn't.
direct
Yeah,
quotes
they
from her?
haven't given any direct quotes. Yeah.
Yeah.
She did say that she admitted she did it. The painting was called 1957/J Number 2 by Clifford Still. I don't know if I can think of what Clifford Still's paintings look like, but I think they're kind of abstract, like linear thing, the paintings. Anyway, I kind of feel sorry for her, but I mean, because now it's spread all over the world that this happened. But I think it's kind of cool in a way.
Any security camera footage?
Oh, well, I could look for that. Oh, by the way, doughboys, they don't quite know what the origin of the term is, but they think it might have been during the Mexican-American War that American soldiers were covered with chalky dust from marching through the dry terrain of Mexico, and it made them look like unbaked dough. I would think they look like powdered donuts more. But yeah, maybe they are like floury. Anyway, so they don't really know what it is, but they used it for World War I forces and Mexican-American War soldiers, and it was used into World War II, but not as much. It was replaced by GI.
All right. So, it was okay. It was in World War One though.
Mexican-American War.
Mexican-American War. Okay. Sparingly used during. Okay, so there was a little hangover.
Yeah, speaking of art, you should type this one in.
Oh boy.
It's a good one. Artist cooks genitals and serves them. Something like try that one. It's this.
Oh God. Jeez.
It was. I don't know. It's got some good pictures.
Jeez.
But anything? Popping
Yeah,
up?
there it
Oh,
is.
yeah, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, you see the entree there? I mean, that's a full platter. Like,
Wow.
I mean,
I'll do a picture search.
Jeez.
yeah. But yeah, he, I don't know. Apparently, yeah.
Oh boy.
I
Hold
know.
on.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and help everyone out with that one.
Yeah.
I get a nice big. Yeah, there we go. Hold on.
It's his own?
Yeah.
It's his own. Well,
Yeah, he's
Jeez.
sexual. He's like, I don't need them anymore.
I-
You know?
And
It's-
might as well let them, be used for something, I suppose.
yeah, but he didn't even make that much money on it either. Like
Well,
he made like, I think 40 grand or something. Like,
People actually ate
yeah,
it though.
yeah. It was kind of a.
And they knew that what they were eating, or he tricked them?
No, they knew.
They knew.
Yeah, they knew. They were down.
All right.
Yeah, but he went to a few different I mean, it wasn't just one dining either. I mean, there was enough to go around for talking about quite the
Jeez.
package of I don't know. But yeah, I think he had 5 different I don't know, what would you call it, roasts.
5. Yeah.
And they made I don't know, and he had some chefs. I don't know, but yeah, it was. Whatever.
All
yeah,
right.
But
Art.
pictures are the best part. I don't know.
Yep. Cuisine. Well, all right. On that note, I'm gonna do a rapid fire headlines. It made me think of headlines here. So let's I got a good 10 of them. I got a good 10 of them here. We got the woman who sees Jesus in her shower mold. Student makes out with teacher, wins bet. Gang members stupidly brag of heists while friending a cop on Facebook. Armed robber steals $4,000 gold-plated vibrator.
Yeah.
Woo, that's expensive. Man who applied for job got detained for murder is set free. Bear tasered after dashing through schoolyard into an apartment building.
That's not right.
Yep. And wrong number leads to a prostitution ring. And the worst one, I don't know, they're bad, but man allegedly bit kitten's lips off. That is just wrong.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Brazil burns mystery panties found in Congress. Well, that was the one that I wanted to tell you guys. I could tell you more about it, but I guess
fast
they
did
found
they go
some. They
up?
found some panties, and then they ended up burning them.
Bursting with more flavor.
They didn't like just spontaneously combust.
Oh, they didn't. They don't discuss that. But
They have like a religious burning, or I mean, not a.
Yeah, this is ceremonious.
Like a ceremonial burning of the panties.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm assuming that it was some sort of. Why would there be panties found? Well, I could tell you more about this story. A pair of women's underwear that fell out of a Brazilian legislator's briefcase on the floor of Congress 2 weeks ago has been incinerated. Oh, okay. So they know whose it was and everything. I didn't realize that.
Well, what? Why did they burn it?
Why didn't they just give it back to her?
Yeah.
Or
Like,
him,
hey.
him or her. Yeah.
These are yours. Here you go. But no, we're just gonna burn them.
Yeah. What should we do? Should we tell her? What we
Okay,
should
well,
do?
what happened was a pair of women's
Tell the
underwear
news.
fell out of a legislator's briefcase, but they don't know whose.
Oh.
And then no one stepped up. No one stepped forward to claim them.
So what does that mean? Is that
There's five
plot just
possibilities.
thickened here.
But, yeah. One of them, five of them. There were 5 possible legislators, and one of them apparently dropped
it's like? Are you a boxers or a brief?
red and white
I plead
panties.
the fifth.
Yeah, so then they just burned them, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Oh, and then someone said it might have been a trick that was played on them by the Workers' Party.
No.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it's funny how sex and politics go together so much. It's such a huge part of politics, but you don't hear about women. I bet if there was a lot more women politicians, there'd be less sex scandals somehow.
Maybe the women are just better at hiding it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, or it manifests itself in a different way. With men, it's just
We're sloppy with it.
yeah.
Yeah, men are a little more sloppy, I think, with their scandals. Women would take time to cover it up properly. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
Probably a lot more bragging involved.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
John Edwards mistrial, you guys hear about that?
Oh, a little bit.
No.
So-
yeah, that's all I know. It's a mistrial. So
What is
he,
it? Yeah, I don't know what that.
he got acquitted. He got. I guess he was found guilty on one charge, but then all the other charges they couldn't acquit him on.
What exactly was
so
he?
it was a mistrial.
getting-
He was under investigation for spending
Oh yeah.
money he raised for his candidacy as president on covering up a
Sex scandal.
sex
thing.
scandal.
Yeah, that's right. While his wife was dying of cancer.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
she didn't die, did she? No, she.
I don't know.
She had cancer. She had like lung cancer or something, and then and
That I'm not sure, but all right, acquitted.
Yep.
Well,
And the
got out of it.
George Zimmerman guy that down in Florida that shot Trayvon Martin.
Oh,
He apparently was found guilty of murder, so he apparently turned himself in on Saturday. So
all right.
So now he's
Now he's got to get sentenced, I guess. Or did they already?
No, I'm guessing he's gonna have to go to trial for that again, or something of the nature. I didn't really look into it. It was just a
Yeah.
little quick headline I came across. So
Yeah, check that out. Trayvon Martin. But
Trayvon.
Trayvon.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
My pronunciation has never been good on this show, and I probably will never get better.
Yeah. No, I personally hate that whole story. You know what I mean? It's just like as far as politicizing it. You know what I mean? That's just like
Well,
it's-
that's like it's like
it's a scary
politicizing
thing to do. Yeah.
Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, there
which
you-
you'll have to tune in next week to get the full story on him. But
Yeah.
not the one you're thinking of.
Baby
not the
Adolf.
one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard there was a story that just happened in Milwaukee. A 13-year-old black kid was killed right near here by a 75-year-old white neighbor, because the guy thought that he had stolen his gun, but he was just I'll try to find the story, but apparently he was just taking out the trash, and then this guy killed him.
Really, right around here?
Yeah. Like just a little west of River West. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the one in well, not kind of like, but yeah, the one in Slainer.
Yeah.
That one was like horrible. I mean, it was like old guy, or no,
He wasn't old. He was
Yeah,
like 35.
Yeah, no, he was like our age, and calls the cops on a party, right? And
Yep.
then goes over, says, "I called the cops."
Yeah,
and all these kids
bangs on the
garage.
garage door, like threateningly. I've called the cops. Cops are on the way. So
Yeah.
of course, what are the kids gonna do but run and scatter?
Yeah, and then one of them happens to be like a black kid goes into his enclosed screen porch
Yeah,
to hide
screen
from the
porch.
police.
Yeah, not his house, screen porch.
Yeah, and he comes out with a gun and shoots him.
Yep, because he was afraid. Again, of course, afraid of his
Isn't
life.
there some kind of law? Is like the
From-
fortress? Or
Yeah, the
something?
castle law.
Castle,
the castle
law.
law,
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's he
Not
got
that
away
we
with
should
that.
get rid of that. You know what I mean? It's like I personally, if someone's breaking into my house, I'm not going to kill them or anything. But
Well,
you know
unless
what I
you
mean?
have
It's
to.
just unless you have to. But I don't want to be charged with murder if something happens. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I mean, you have to, yeah.
Yeah, no, I
There's
don't
a
think.
reason for that law, but that guy shouldn't be protected under it. I mean, because he actually initiated the kid to come into his house.
Right, there
or
should
not
be
really into his house, but he knew why he was there. He was hiding from the police that he just called, you know?
Right. There
So.
there has to be something with that castle clause that says you can't
Yeah, you can't.
you can't
kind of like in the
entice
South.
you can't
know, it's just-
entice somebody into your house. It's like inviting someone over for dinner
Mm-hmm.
and blasting them.
Yeah, and it's like,
Oh, you came in my house.
yeah,
Gotcha.
he was.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty, like, not to make light of,
No,
but
it's
yeah,
kinda
that's
like-
really messed up. There has to be some kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. don't
Well,
know
I mean,
what.
you got to like we were talking in next week's show. You know, like,
Right.
You know, it's like you have to treat everything individually. You know,
Right.
You can't.
You can't use if we do this for this guy, we're gonna have to do it for everyone else.
Yeah, you can't.
Because you
use that
don't
mentality,
really,
'cause that's,
yeah, because you don't really have to. You take every case by the case,
Mm-hmm. So
not by the law.
Circumstance is
Right,
different.
right.
So, yeah.
Treat it by
I
the
agree.
circumstance, not the law. The law fits the circumstance. The circumstance doesn't fit the law.
yeah.
Or by the ideology that like if you apply ideology, which I mean in some ways, like this story, you know, like a white 75-year-old man shoots a black 13-year-old kid, you immediately start to apply ideology to it.
Right.
But and in some ways it's like, well, there is there is a lot of patterns there that we are familiar with. I was wrong about it being near here. Actually, it was on the south side. I think that he just went to church nearby here, but and they had just moved to the south side. I guess the next door neighbor shot him, and then shot him again as he was trying to run away in the back. His mom watched the whole thing. He had his hands up, and then he shot him, and then he turned around and ran, and then got shot in the back. And then the reason why is because this guy was convinced that the kid had stolen from him. And but the thing is, he was at school at the time that his house had been broken into. So there's just craziness, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll become a big deal, you know. We'll see. Sounds kind of similar to the Trayvon type of thing, but maybe it's the problem with the Trayvon one was the guy got off completely. At first, the cops just like let him off the hook.
Well, yeah, they didn't even have anything to like arrest him with, you know.
Yeah, because
really,
of that new law. What's that law called that they have down in the?
What was that?
In
It wasn't
Florida?
the castle law. It was like,
It's
well, and it wasn't in like a
it's like
in a-
safe streets or something like
Yeah,
that.
well,
some-
and he was like kind of the community like police guy, you know what I mean? Like, he was-
vigilante.
It was a gated community.
Yeah, it was a gated community, and he was like
walking through there. on his way home from school.
Interesting thing about that too, the Trayvon Martin thing was like, how the we all heard like the initial, like the first phone call, like him calling 911, and then that was like, and it came out like a week later than the unedited version of the phone call, which was like totally different. Like, I mean, they just cut out like big segments to make George Zimmerman sound like he was racist when really like, he was, he like, I mean, he's like, it was like a Mexican guy that like participated in like, civil rights things and all that. I don't know. Like, he organized some things too, like some marches and stuff like that. So he really wasn't a racist. He just,
So again, it's like the way the media will pick and choose little pieces of.
Mm-hmm. No, but this was a deliberate edit. Like they cut out like half of a sentence. No, it was it was like NBC or something. I forgot what one it was.
Yeah.
But it was what was the exact quote? It was like he's they're like he just said like he's I think he's up to no good. He looks black is like what he said, and then like in the unedited version they ask he says, oh, I think he's up to no good, and they're like, and then they say like, well, is he white, black, Mexican? He's like, it's like I think he looks black, was kind of the unedited version of that, but I don't know. I mean, it's like, and then the question is, why would they do that, like, why would they purposely edit it to make him, seem like he did it out of race, but, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Why would the news do anything other than report the news like we do?
Yeah, exactly.
Although I give no illusion as that I'm being fair and non-biased in my news reporting.
Speaking of fair and non-biased, though, the Shepherd Express.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your source for non-biased news.
Yeah. Always. You hear both sides. So yeah. This week, as we know, the upcoming recall election, which will be over with by next week, I guess. It's Tuesday already, huh? We got to go vote on getting rid of Walker. Barrett. Why Barrett is good for the state? It's basically like first thing by the publisher of the Shepherd Express. Probably the most, as far as like not calling Walker an awful Hitler, like they normally do. It was pretty like, I don't know. It was a nice, saying like, yeah, he worked with Barrett. Barrett's good with bipartisanship, with doing the whole reaching across the aisle thing and all that, and saying how we have to get back to civil politics. We have to get back to compromise and all that. And then the next article is. Walker is Hitler, and
well, you gotta have both. You gotta have both sides of the story.
I know.
That makes it non-biased,
right? Yeah.
So
bring them both to you.
No, this one though, the damage Scott Walker has done to Wisconsin is actually, I don't know. It's we've heard it over and over and over again. There's a few things though that are pretty were fairly new. I didn't know about or hadn't really looked, it heard about, but didn't really know what it was about. But of course, the job creation record, and then he comes out with his own. So it's like, Wisconsin has the worst amount of jobs created. Like, what do you guys think? Like, really, what does Scott Walker really have to do with job creation? I don't know.
Not a whole lot.
I really wouldn't think like the president doesn't have much to do with it.
The president can't do a whole lot. The mayor can't do.
All they can really do is free up things so people can like make jobs. Job makers can make. Well, I would think. But
you have to. They can be like the hype man, like a Flava Flav for your state to try and get companies to come to your state by. I don't know, pretty much hyping up your state as the cool
giving
state.
them like,
I don't know.
And all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Well, wasn't it that Scott Walker made some big claims about job creation, and then it ended up being we were like 50th in the nation.
Yeah, we were dead last.
And
We
then
lost.
but then like number 2 was Illinois, and they had their governor was doing the exact opposite. He was sort of leaning in the sort of socialist direction. Wasn't that what was people were saying? But of course, like you say, it's like
I don't know.
it's so easy to take these numbers and point at who's in office. And I mean, it's true that economics are so long term, like the effects can come from decades, so it's really easy to spin it one way or the other. And it's fine, except when all of a sudden when it works in favor of your belief system, what you believe is right, making Scott Walker look bad. But what if it was someone you actually really liked a lot and we were 50th in job creation? You know what I mean? Like, it's it just seems like a sort of a tricky
Right.
game to get into to try to point fingers at
Well,
the
and then
current politician for the economics of the time of that day.
right, and I mean, I'm not trying to defend the guy in any way. He's a total, I don't
Well,
know, he's a total dunce. But yeah, but then not really though. I mean, he's not even a dunce. He's just like he's playing out. He's
he just has his own agenda, like he said, and
Yes.
he's going to do what he wants and
Divide and conquer.
and,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
and not deal with any
Well-
of these other things. He wants to do what he wants to do, and he's gonna do it.
Well, I think
That's what he said over and over again.
In like how no one's really making, or no one really seems like bothered by like he did most of his fundraising outside of the state. That kind of says something, but. I don't know, but then on that in that respect, where it's just like it's a dangerous thing to get into, sort of like, or it's like, but then he jumps right into it by coming out with his own numbers, right afterwards. It's like, okay, which like they won't be confirmed until after the recall election. So, but one thing I thought was kind of interesting though, so. The budget surplus thing, and he said we're we had a surplus because of the budget repair bill, but apparently that is completely false because then he filed he sent a letter to the federal government verifying that the state would have a budget deficit in 2013, so when Walker's first biennial budget expires. And Walker had to claim a deficit so that he could go ahead with his plans to kick people off Badger Care. I don't know, but I just thought that was interesting anyway, because he's always talking about how he balanced the budget, and it was, we were actually made money. There was a surplus this year when then he goes and files with the federal government saying otherwise,
Accounting,
It's like- Yeah.
Where do you move the numbers? But anyway, check your facts before you decide, and vote on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's what that matters.
Or don't.
Or don't play their games.
Don't fall for it.
Right. Have your own. I don't know.
I'll say it's great, that I mean it's I love it just because it's great to be able to recall. You know what I mean?
Well,
just
it's a privilege that all all humans, that all people of this country and state, it's a I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's a
No.
but it's just to me it's people in government are all the same.
A horse apiece.
A horse apiece, exactly. They don't have your interest in mind. They have, people that back them with money. That's their interests, and that's their goal is to make sure those people get what they want, not what we want.
Yep.
They supposedly are our voice, but they never seem to speak out on things that concern regular people, I guess,
No,
for a better
there's,
term.
Well,
So
yep. Pick your horse and hope he wins, I guess.
Yeah.
pretty much about it,
Yep.
right?
Speaking of this type of stuff, though, I have
Or
the
pick your horse and pay for it.
right, yeah, the Metropolitan Milwaukee Area or Association of Commerce I found their the Milwaukee Commerce Special Edition. What their agenda is for 2012. And let's go into talented workforce agenda. Increase capacity in high-performing schools for 10,000 students by 2014 and for 20,000 students by 2020 by expanding and replicating existing high-performing schools, improving achievement at high potential schools, whatever that is, recruiting high-quality charter school networks to operate in Milwaukee, and increasing the number of Teach for America teachers in Milwaukee Public Schools from 50 a year to 150 a year. That's one of their things they want to do. Also, they want to have for a thriving economy in Milwaukee. They go with, this is the one that I found interesting, continue to pursue recommendations for the MMAC, that's the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce, tax comparison study that would strategically realign Wisconsin's tax structure mix to support job creation and economic growth. Okay, that's very vague. That don't mean anything. But this one does. Repeal the higher income tax bracket created in 2009. This bracket was identified as a disincentive for job creation. So they want to get rid of that higher bracket because that is stopping the jobs. I see. I don't know how much I believe in taxes actually being a humongous enough incentive for job creation. I think there's too many other factors. I mean,
Right.
It is one factor, but I don't think they always seem to like put that as like foremost. It's like the taxes are the only reason
Well,
jobs ever go anywhere.
And then, like,
Because
I mean,
of what the taxes are. There's too many other variables there.
and you see all the, like tax the 1%. You know what I mean? It's like that's so dumb because it's going to be like we're going to be taxing like not the 1%, but probably the 12% under the 1%. Or like you're maybe even further down. Really, it's just like it's just going to be. It's basically upper middle class. They're going to go up, and it's just those people are always going to be able to like unless you reform the tax code, I suppose. But even that probably, I'm sure there's still, because like, it's all about who writes writes it too. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It was kind of like, that like mining bill. Was that was remember that like
The mining bill?
the mining bill was like and it was like it was what was it for? It was but anyway, it was it was written by the mining companies anyway. It was like it was like so it was like it never made it through the state through the House, but what's that?
It's like the credit card companies who the banks who wrote the credit card legislation about how they were gonna fix that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that's not seen as a conflict of interest and allowed, but
I mean, yeah.
they know the most, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, they know like all the things they could get away with, so they know what to put in the bills, like to make it tight.
They're not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they know
they're
what I
gonna,
mean.
right. They know where the loopholes are, so they're gonna close them on themselves.
Yep.
Because everyone's that morally
Everyone's that
fibrous.
selfless. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
No.
no one who would take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So what's the what is this is one of those things that's just like probably one of the most debated things in America right now. How do you solve the economic problem that America is facing, or the world? Well, America as part of the world has to face some kind of music here, some kind of reality, and I feel like there's like the kind of Ayn Rand view of the world of solutions, and then there's kind of more like some socialist view of the world of how to solve problems. Do you have an opinion, Justin, on what the answer is? How can we solve the problems of the world?
I don't know.
Economically.
I don't know. The problems of the world economically?
No, just the problem. America, is there anything that's just clear, like, oh, if we only did that, it would be so much better?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, Federal Reserve, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be the source of every problem, is just the fact that people can keep making money to keep doing horrible things with the money, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah, well, that's
Exactly.
interesting
That
because
deflates deflating the value of the dollar.
Right.
You
well,
know?
that hardly matters at this point anymore because it's so deflated anyway. It's just like,
Well, right.
You know, but
it
it's
doesn't
just-
help. You know, I mean, we're like trillions of dollars in debt, and we keep printing this money, and this money is basically worthless. But yet we keep printing it out.
What's interesting is we hold the debt too. So it's like, you know what I mean? Well, and banks hold the debt. Well, it's basically the Federal Reserve owns us because like we owe so much debt to it. You know, like we owe.
And we owe China.
So if like you
can't
get
forget about
rid
that.
of the Federal Reserve, that kind of like, you know, it's like, I really don't know. I mean, there's a debate about that too. Is
Right.
exactly what happens if it were to disappear. Like,
And
what-
it's
See,
interesting.
that's the thing. I don't think anyone really has a solid solution to take care of this, the economy and the deficit. I think people like to just throw things out there to keep people, you know, not that concerned about it. You know what I mean? They'll throw a little thing. Oh, the job market went up, or you know, jobs market is going up 6%. Oh yeah, that looks good. But is it really going up? You know, I think ultimately they really know what's going to happen. It happens every day. People get into debt. They lose, their houses get foreclosed on. They get their cars taken away from them. I think the U.S. is headed in that direction. I think you know, everyone's going to suffer, whether you know you're considered lower class or middle class or upper class. I mean, the upper class isn't going to be there. I don't think there's going to be any class. Personally, I think everyone's going to be on the same level. You know, that's what I think is going to happen. It's not a very good outlook, but you know, I think that's the truth. I mean, how does somebody get out of debt? You know, they consolidate their bills, but you know, the government keeps borrowing money to
right.
bail out this or bail out that, and those businesses or banks or whatever, like they file bankruptcy and they go under, and then that's money that the government has taken on as a burden, you know. And I think it's not looking good for the.
Well, it's interesting, like going back to the thing of the politicians, you know, you pick your horse or whatever. The problem is, you know, you were saying earlier that the politicians are all, you know, you can't really trust any politician. And it's kind of true. Like, why is it that Barrett is this solution when people are just so fed up and they want to recall this governor, but we don't have anyone to replace him with because our political system is so screwed up.
Right.
That this is our solution is Tom Barrett, who nobody, you know, like people don't really have much faith in, and I'm sure there's all kinds of shining stars in Wisconsin and in this state who could take on Scott Walker. It can't be just Tom Barrett, but because of this, there's a systemic problem that good people don't even want to be politicians. It seems like, you know what I'm saying? Like there are good people out there who probably would be great politicians, but they don't even want to be politicians because the system's so messed up.
I think in some ways too, they're not allowed to be politicians too.
That
you know?
too, right. Yeah, I shouldn't say they don't want. Yeah, they couldn't. If they even wanted to try, they wouldn't have a chance. They'd get eaten up and spit out right away.
And if you have anything, you know, your views are anything other than Republican or Democrat, you know, you're automatically shunned. You know, for that, you can't run as a liberal, you can't run as a socialist, you can't run as a
Green
Party,
or libertarian,
right?
Yeah,
you know, because automatically, you know, you're a communist if you run under those,
or you're a wingnut,
exactly.
you're wasting your votes. You know, you're wasting your votes on someone. If you want to vote for someone who actually stands for what you believe in, you're just throwing your vote away.
Yeah,
you have to vote for someone you don't believe in because then it's an effective vote.
Yeah,
that's where this country has gotten to.
Yeah, it's
not about checks and balances
or this
anymore.
quote unquote democracy. It's probably true everywhere, but more so here where it's a two-party system rather than like France or something where you have a whole bunch of choices. But then there's all kinds of problems with that paradigm is screwy too. But speaking of which. according to Infowars and Alex Jones, one of the Bilderberger members discussed killing Ron Paul in a heated conversation.
Yeah, they all got moles in there.
Yeah, it's from a mole. I believe it, but probably people discuss killing Ron Paul every day in all kinds of hotel lobbies. I don't know.
Right. Wait, this is the Bilderberg group we're talking about, man.
World domination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they might actually have access to assassins.
Well, I'm sure.
So it might be a little less empty threat there.
So what is this? I had one thing about the Bilderberg, but I want to get into the fluoride thing too.
Oh man. We're running low. So let's go to the fluoride debate, which was just in the what commission is that, or committee? That is
steering
the
committee.
Steering committee. That was 8-hour meeting of the steering
was a
committee
marathon. No, it was I was kind of like looking forward to it. I was expecting it to it was Alderman Bowl from where is he? He's like up on like the northwest side of Milwaukee, I believe is his district, but he brought this forward anyway and wants to get rid of fluoride in the water. But I didn't read his statement, which is it goes into talking about fluorosis. Like, it was just like right away I thought he was just going to stick with talking about how like it just obviously drinking fluoride doesn't help your teeth. If you put fluoride in the water, it doesn't do anything to your teeth because it just like flies right past your teeth and goes into your stomach and then it affects your internal organs more than it affects your teeth.
So you're saying water isn't a topical solution?
Right. Well, that was the thing. Fluoride only works as a topical thing. You got to rub it on like toothpaste.
Well, if you swish the water around in your mouth before you drink it every time.
Yeah, there you go.
Just swish it in your mouth before you drink.
Yeah.
So how do you is there a way to, like, if you put your water, is there a way to do something to your water so that fluoride will go away from your water?
You can filter it, yeah. But I mean, like, I don't think a Brita really works. You have to get like more expensive filtration. A Brita really just. I was like looking at that. It just really just changes the flavor of the water and it takes out the minerals. That's all it does. So it just makes it like it just pretty much keeps. Like, it gets rid of everything but the fluoride and like chlorine and.
Well, I know that I know that
gets rid of all the good stuff.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I thought that letting water
I might be wrong about that too, but
letting water sit out for a while
really?
allows the chlorine to go away. Like the chlorine will like evaporate or whatever. I might be wrong. Maybe it's just something I think, but I must have heard that somewhere. I don't have any factual basis for it.
I know if you're down by the river and you're thirsty or something and you have a container to keep the water in, if you let it sit in the sun for a few hours, it'll kill bacteria in there, and you should be able to drink it. I mean, I don't know if you'd want to drink water from the river, but it's something you can do, to kill bacteria anyway.
What about, not to get off track from fluoride too far, but what about iodine in salt? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, it's supposed to be good for like
your thyroid.
Oh, thyroid, yeah.
Yeah, goiters, yeah.
Yeah.
Like your thyroid. No, iodine's really good, actually. Like,
okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, I just, yeah.
So iodized salt is good, but fluoridized water is no good.
I would, yeah. Well,
or it's not no good. We don't know. It's just
I'm not sure about the salt
suspicious.
thing.
There's something suspicious about the whole fluoride thing.
Well,
it's true. To do a fluoride treatment, you got to put this thing on your teeth and let it sit there for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, you don't just pop a pill.
So we're swallowing tons of fluoride all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, it's really weird.
Well, and then he got into all the dropping people's IQs. Well, he basically went like. If you ever read anything about all the bad stuff about fluoride, he covered it all except for the only thing he left out was the Nazis used it in concentration camps, to make the prisoners, the more docile. Like, I'm sure they had
calm people down.
Yeah, well, just dumb them down, like put them in a daze,
pretty, yeah. Make them slow.
That was the only thing he didn't say. That was
Exactly.
everything else.
Pull
But
the wool over your eyes.
Yeah, a little
what I wanted to say though, like, so it is a like the fluoride that it's not even fluoride. You know, it's a waste product of phosphate fertilizer manufacturing captured in its smokestacks. So they scrape the smokestacks and they just inject that unpurified. They don't even like filter nothing. They just put that into the water. It's like hydro, you know, and it's like. They could have got rid of one of the ICs here, but it's like hydrofluosilicic acid. But yeah, so it's not even fluoride. So I was kind of like surprised by that. I was surprised, they scraped the smokestacks. But then I was like, what smokestacks? Like what, you know? So it was like, MMSD, they got Milorganite, which is it's basically
fertilizer.
It's fertilizer. It's
Milorganite. It's sewage sludge, which is really different.
It's biosolids.
It's toxic sludge. That's what
Yeah.
Milorganite is, and Milorganite contains everything from the street that runs into the drain.
Right.
So it contains the motor oil, the salt for salting the ice. It contains all the toxins, so it's super toxic. And it's not just like if we were to compost our human waste, that would be one thing. That actually could be useful and good for like growing plants and so on. But Milorganite is really toxic and
I couldn't believe how
causes asthma and stuff.
bad it was. I was reading this article. It was from '95, but it was like I was anyway, and it was about it's like Milorganite. It started like 70 years ago. Anyway, this idea, but then anyway, so It used to have a label on it said not for I don't know what else you use fertilizer for except for to grow plants, vegetables, to fertilize but they're like, it's not intended for that. It's fertilizer, and I don't.
I guess just pretty flowers.
Yeah, I guess just for flowers maybe. I don't know, because it's great for the plants, but it's bad in that it contains all this lead and arsenic and I don't know, just everything bad. Yeah, coming from the streets, and then there's more chemicals because then they treat it. They have to separate the sewage. And and then they get the biosolids. Basically, they get all the solids out of the sewage, and then and that's what they use to make the fertilizer. And then so it's and then on top of that, then they're they put it on the soil. It kills the soil indefinitely, is what they're saying. But then there's runoff. So then it's there's been lawsuits with farmers next to another farmer using Milorganite. That it runs into their field, and then they're then they have toxic soil, and then there's lawsuits there with that, and but I don't know. Yeah, but then then we're gonna dump it in the water.
On that note, speaking
yeah.
of farmers, there's a couple farmers markets happening. We got the East Side Green Market, which is Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. June 16th through October 13th. The East Side, also Easttown Market, the corner of Kilbourne and Jefferson. Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. June 2nd, October through October 6th. And
what about the River West one?
The River West one is at Garden Park, which is also known as Wu-Tang Park, on Bremen and Locust, on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and that starts June 17th through October 28th. So yeah, go get your Milorganite plants, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Plants.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I guess we got to wrap up here real quick. So this is Jim, Justin, Pat, and Zav signing off for another episode of Jim and Friends. Stay tuned next week for the future, which is the past news, and that Locust Street days. Quite the storm coming.
Yeah.
So
get
ready for Locust Street days. It's going to be cool.
People
Last
in the future.
Quick. Yeah,
listen up.
It's gonna be something else.
A big storm.
And I think we got a quick run on some headlines from Zav here.
Okay, yeah, go quick. I got one if we have time.
No, go ahead. Say it.
Oh, no. Well, you read that one. I want you to.
Well, no, I've got it. I was just going to go through a bunch of quick ones, just.
You got it. This kid got busted anyway with it's not really that funny, but it's kind of what? He's a dead baby smuggler.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But for black magic rituals, he had these babies they're wrapped in gold leaf.
Wow.
And
wow.
Yeah, I got busted. He wasn't at the airport. It was in his hotel room. I don't know.
Huh.
But then, like, yeah, apparently, like, yeah, there's just some, I don't know, wealthy people into black magic buy these babies for the rituals, and like, it was some,
Yeah,
some
no, there's-
British kid.
There was actually a story, I never read it, that was
Hey, you're
disturbing
right, man.
about what do you call people who have like white hair and albinos in I can't remember if it's Nigeria,
Elderly.
Uganda, in some country in Africa where there's a lot of superstition around albinos, and they will kidnap them and take body parts off of them. It's
Yeah,
horrifying.
no, that's in the what you
It's
call
scary.
it's also I know I don't know, it could be in other places, but in like as far as like you know, in the Amazon too, like those like
Really?
yeah, like they but
Well, it's scary. I mean, there's crazy stuff all over
All
the
right.
world. Well, I'll quickly do this, and then we'll just wrap it up. A bear crashed into a middle school graduation recently. A drug dealer mistakenly sent cops text messages. Drivers saw a scarf-wearing pig on the road recently. There was this auction for Ronald Reagan's blood, a vial of his blood, but that was canceled. Anyway, blah blah blah. There's all kinds of crazy news out there. I could go on forever. Like a guy shot his friend in the leg on purpose. His friend asked him to. I don't know. That's the news for this week. A
All
diamond
right.
swallower still has. They're waiting for the diamond swallower to have a bowel movement. I don't know. It goes on and on.
So again, thank you everyone for listening in, and I think we are out of here. So signing off.
And Chuck's show is
Oh yeah, and Santiago and Chuck's show is next. So stay tuned.